Hey guys, welcome back. It's Jack from CasinoIncomeAcademy.com, and we are rolling into the weekend here. If you did not watch the video yesterday, everybody that's a newsletter subscriber has been waiting with bated breath for over 35 days. Well, it's here. Yesterday we announced and we launched Baccarat DNA Sequencer, our premium exclusive. You are not going to find the material in there anywhere else. Course for Baccarat players and people that just want to make money and get higher comps, whether it's online or on a cruise or in the hotels in Vegas, Biloxi. The information is there. How you choose to use it is up to you. Maybe you just enjoy new strategy concepts and putting pieces together. Maybe you want to make an income side hustle, or maybe you just want to add it to your existing repertoire of systems. There are so many ways that our students use the information, and I'm always amazed, and I love to talk to individual people and what it means to them, because for some people, it's a game changer. They're looking to pay off a car, pay off bills, pay off a mortgage. Other people, they're retired and they're using that money to travel on. And other people, it is basically a system or systems, the systems that we sell. In conjunction, they create an overall business plan, which is what we talk about doing. And that's what we really focus on, creating a bigger business plan using multiple strategies and systems that can slowly but surely get you with a game plan to even walk away from your 9-to-5 job. And some of our people have definitely done that in the last 6 to 7 months. But that's not for everybody. That's not why everybody's doing it. All right, so today we're switching away from Baccarat for the moment, and we are going to do a different version of the 5-10 bounce. So you guys have seen me the 5-10 bounce, and you know that what we do is this is a dark side strategy. We're going to be using lay bets. We usually do the 5-10 bounce, the 5 and dime. And people ask me, can you do it with anything else? And yeah, you can do it with a lot of things. We don't use the inside numbers because it's too volatile to use the 6 and the 8, in my opinion. So normally I do the 5-10, and today we're going to switch it up. We're going to do the 49er, the 4-9 bounce. So the way that this works is the 7 is, there's more ways to make a 7 than any other number, right? Every single number. But there's only 3 ways to make a 4 versus 6 ways to make a 7, right? And if we're going to use the 4 and the 9, there are 4 ways to make a 9, but there's 6 ways to make a 7. So the 7 is the favorite over both the 4 and the 9. The 4 doesn't pay as well because the odds are with you more than the 9. All right, so the payout's exactly the same as when we use the 5 and 10. We're just using the 4 and 9. Now, the math, the secret sauce math to this is not just the 7 math. It's the repeater math, all right? So the odds of something instantly repeating are not really good. Now, before you craps players that are going to jump up and down and yell at me, that you see tons of times where the 4 comes in back to back, or the 9, or the 6, or the 8. Yes, that's not what we're saying. We're saying that the math is in your favor for one roll. There's probability math that goes against it repeating instantly. Not that it doesn't happen, not that it can't happen, not that it doesn't happen multiple times, but the math is once again in your favor. We want to put as many things and stack as many probability math equations together to give us the best chance of winning. When we do that, when we create a probability stack, which is what we're teaching in the new Baccarat course, probability stacking. So that's why I picked this to show today. This is not a stack because it's only one strategy. But this is the type of thing that we use in our probability stacks. So it's very, very simple. We're going to use manual rolls, so no crapsy rolls. And we're going to be looking for the 4 or the 9, and that's what's going to trigger us to jump out. So here we go. We don't really care anything about where the puck is or anything like that. So here we go. So that's a 6. I'm not even going to enter the 6 for the puck. It doesn't matter. All right, that is an 11. The only thing we're looking for is a 4 or a 9 as a trigger. There's an 8. There's another 8. A 6. A 7. An 11. No 4s and 9s yet. There it is. Oh, no, that's a 10. I'm sorry. 6, 4. All right, there it is. 5, 4, 9. So once there's a 9 or a 4, it gives us our trigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out with our trigger, and we're going to just do $10 bets. We're going to do this nice and easy, right? So we're going to lay 10 against the 9 showing up, okay? So we're going to get paid if the 7 shows up before the 9, okay? Now, the reason this is called the 4-9 bounce, like the 5-10 bounce, is that if the 4 shows up before the 7, we're going to move this money. We're going to bounce it to the 4 to take advantage of that little math. Here we go. All right, that's a 6. That's a 7. So we're going to win before we even have a chance to bounce. So it's a 5, 2, 7.
7 winner.
We're going to win. And now we're looking for the next trigger. So you made $6.33 on your $10 bet. Here we go. All right, that's a 6, an 11, 3, 5, 5, and there's a hard 4. So there you go. So that's going to trigger us to go back out. That's our trigger. Because we're saying, I dare you to not only hit the 4 before the 7, but we're also gaining the little bit of probability. It's more than a little bit, guys, by the way. I don't have the math thing pulled up at the moment. I think I showed it before. About at least giving us that extra juice of not repeating instantly. That's the only reason we're using the bounce. So now we're that's all we care about is the 9 or the 7. All right, there's a 6. There's another 6. There's an 11. And there's a 9. So now you're going to see the bounce technique. So because the 9 came before the 7, we're going to bounce back to the 9. And now we're just looking for the 7. And we got knocked off. Okay, so that time was absolutely no good. So we did get knocked off our 9. So we are going to register that. 6 and 3.
Nina 9.
All right. So we're down $3.67. So the way I normally play, I don't like to ladder with this system unless I have to. So we're only down $3. I'm not even going to ladder right now. Okay. Now, you do have the option. That was 2 9s in a row. Right? You can wait out this shooter and say, this shooter beat me. I'm going to wait for the next shooter. Or you can say, I dare you to throw 3 9s before a 7, because we just saw 2 9s in a row. So we'll play it this way just to show you for this demo, for the moment. We're just going to go out with the same bet. So again, we're looking for the 7. And there it is, 5, 2, 7. All right, 5, 2, 7.
7 out.
All right, so we're back up positive, and now we're going to wait again for the next 4 or 9. There it is, 5, 4, 9. Wow, a lot of 9s here. A lot of 9s. I'm rolling lots of 9s here. Okay, so we're back on the 9. And the 9 again. What is going on here, guys?
Nina 9.
All right, so once again, we're down. All right, so purposes of the demo, I will go up this time because we're down more than a couple of dollars. Now, do you have to do that? Of course not. Of course not. You could still play it flat betting. I do this flat betting all the time, and I end up winning my 20, 30 bucks, and I walk away. Depending on what I'm using as the base. If I'm using $10 as a base, I'm looking more for the $40, $50, to walk away from to pull a ticket. But we'll just move up. So now we're going to do it again. We're not going to wait. Now, you can wait for the next 4 and 9 to be rolled. That's the more conservative approach, without a doubt. But we'll just do it so we're showing the video. We're going to do quicker. We're not going to be that conservative. So we're going to go up to 20, right? We're not martingaling. We're only going up by the same amount as the unit. All right, so once again, we're looking for the 7 or a 4. All right, there's the 4. So we're automatically going to do our bounce to the 4. Okay, there we go. And here we go. 7 out. All right, so 5-2. So there's our 7 out.
7 out.
All right, we're back to a plus, so we're definitely going to go back down. And this time we are going to wait for the next, well, of course we're going to wait. We have to wait for the next 4 and 9. That's a 6. That's a 7. That's a 5. 3. 8. 10. 8. 3. Yeah, see, now we're not getting the 9s. How do you like that? 6. 8. Yeah, we had that big run of 9s. 8. Now we're getting a lot of 8s. 8 again. 6. Inside numbers here. 8 again. 7 out. Unfortunately, we weren't on anything. 11. Wow. No 4s and 9s now. There we go. All right, so we're back on the 9. We're back at our base bet. And here we go. All right, 7 out. 4-3. So that's a quick one. We like that.
7 winner.
All right, so we have to wait for our next. Now we're up $8. Okay, we got our 2. Hard 4. So we're back on the 4. Here we go. That's our next trigger. 7 out right away. All right, so sometimes, listen, when you play dark side strategies, the 7 is a monster. That's why you guys see me loving hybrid strategies and dark strategies most of the time.
7 winner.
All right, so look, we're up 13.24. We're playing $10 base bets. Like I said, it's up to you to determine your win target. For me, it's 4, 5, 6 units. All right, so here we go. That's a 7 again. That's a hard 6. 5. Where's the 4s? Nope, that's an 8. 4s and 9s, guys. Come on. There's the 9 again. Okay. So back on the 9. Here we go. 7 out. So very quickly now we're getting the 7s when we go out. Very quick. But that doesn't always happen. You have to be prepared and have the bankroll.
7 winner.
All right. Keep chugging along. We're up $20. 5-5, hard 10. 8. 7 again. 5. 5. Back-to-back 5s. That's a 9. Here we go. Back on the 9. Man, I'm throwing tons of 9s today. All right, here we go. Come on, 7. 7. 5-2. There we go. All right, we're on a roll here, guys.
7 winner.
All right, that brings us to $26. Here we go. 6, 4, 10. 4, 3, 7. Hard 6. 7. 8. 5. 7 again. I think the 5-10 would be killing it in this session. The 5-10 bounce. That's another 5. Wow. 10. Well, I said that, And now all the 5s and 10s are showing up. 4, there we go. 3, 1, 4. So we're laying the 4. And we're looking for a quick 7 out. That's a 5. That's a 7 out. 4, 3. So after a little choppy start, you see how this
7
thing's
winner.
cruising. All right. We're up 30, and we're looking for our next trigger. 6, 4, 10. 5, 4, 9. Here we go. Back on the 9 again. All right. We haven't had a bounce in a while. Let's see if the 4 comes up. 6, 5, yo 11. 6, 1, 7. Beautiful. Loving it. Loving
7
it. Everybody
winner.
at the table is hating all these 7s. And we're making money on every one of them. Here we go. All right. 3, 2, 5. 6, 5, yo 11. 2, 1, 3. 5, 1, 6. Heart 8. 7. 3, 2, 5. 5, 3, 8. 3, 2, 5. 3, 2, 5. Wow, that's not good. 6, 1, 7. 6, 5, yo. Heart 8. Wow, where are the 4s and 9s? 6. 5. And there it is. 5, 4, 9. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's see if we can get there. 6, 4, 10. 6, 2, 8. 6, 2, 8 again. 4, 3, 7. There we go. All right. 7 is our friend.
7 winner.
All right. We're at 43. So, like I said, I look for 4 to 6 units playing this way and hit the road. Let's just do one more so you guys can see what it's like. And then again, you can do this with the 5-10 bounce or the 4-9 bounce. Those are the ones that I use. 4, 3, 7. 5, 4, 9. Back on the 9 once again. Let's see if we can wrap this session up. 5, 1, 6. 6, 2, 8. 6, 1, 7. There it is.
7 winner.
All right, and there you go. There's your $50 or 5 units. You can do this at any level, guys. Remember the bounce technique. And remember, this is not something you're going to sit there for a million years playing. You're going to take your money and run. This is great on the electronic where there's no stress whatsoever. Also, when you play on the electronic type tables, like bubble craps or whatever it is, the problem with the bubble craps, the straight bubble craps, is they won't let you roll the dice without having a bet out. Okay? That is the problem. So if you're going to do something like this on the electronic, you're going to have to do it on the electronic where you're playing with other people, where you can wait and be patient for the 4-9 or the 5-10. If you're playing at a regular table, well, you can wait all day. There's no big deal. But the lay bet minimums are definitely going to be more. Most of the time, depending on what the minimums are and everything else, the lay bets are going to be $40 or $42 in most places that I play live. So your minimum bet is going to be 42 or 40, whatever it is. Okay, you're going to have to ask. So I love this on the electronic. That is not the simple bubble craps, the ones that are connected where you can wait and the dice are rolling without you waiting. Now, can you play this on regular bubble craps? You could, and you could do it using a pass or a don't pass, a minimum bet, right? You could do that. Or, I'll give you the other example of this. The other way to do this, let's say it's a minimum $3 bet, all right? You can just start out. So this is the way I've done it on the regular bubble craps. You can just watch for a few minutes, see if the 4 has shown up or the 10 has shown up. Well, actually, you can't. I'm sorry, not on the bubble craps. But most of the time, you can see what has shown up. If you have seen a 4, then lay the 4. If you want to just always start with the 4, then start with the 4. Whatever the minimum bet is, you're going to do it. So if it's a $3 minimum bet, make the $3 minimum bet to get things started. And then you're going to stay here unless the 10 shows up and you're going to bounce. So you're not going to be able to wait for that trigger. You're always going to have to go out on either the 4 or 10. And then you're either going to win, you're going to lose, or you're going to do the bounce, right? That's how you play this on bubble craps, the straight bubble craps. I love playing this. It's one of those that I put in my rotation, without a doubt. I don't play this for long periods of time, but I do play this inside of other rotations with regular playing kind of systems where I'm playing almost every result. So this is one of those, okay, I'm not done playing yet, so I'll sit here for a few more minutes and try to eke out another 3 to 5 units. And that's how I play this. Again, you do not have to ladder up immediately. That's the other thing I want to mention. You saw that on that first loss, I didn't ladder up right away. You don't have to become a ladder up crazy person. Ladder up when it's necessary, and absolutely ladder down and get back to the base as fast as possible. So this is the 49er version of the 5-10 bounce. We'll see you guys on another video. And remember, if you are not a newsletter subscriber, you want to go to the website and subscribe today, not just because of the discount codes on the Baccarat, on the brand new Baccarat system and other systems, but the freebie stuff that we do, the free strategies we don't show on here on YouTube. And coming up this week is going to be a major opportunity that's going to be introduced for 2026 that is not course-based. It is a passive income opportunity that will not be discussed publicly. It cannot and will never be discussed publicly. It's only for community members in-house. All right. Speak to you guys later. Take it easy. Practice the 49er. You will see how easy it is to make a few units and get out. And when you do get in trouble, don't get carried away with the laddering. The 7s are always your friend. Have patience and you will come back. Don't get crazy. Have patience. The 7s will always be your friend. Use the laddering sparingly and when you need to, but don't get carried away with it. We'll see you on the next video.